Welcome to Wally Spark Reviews.
That's Wally with an E!
Alright, here we have the Hammerhead 6 amp 4.5 inch angle grinder that I'm going to use to cut the top of my post on my chain link fence. We're going to see how it fares. Let's see what's all in this box. Well, we got the angle grinder itself. There she is. Electric, obviously. Feels nice and heavy and durable. Comes with a side handle. See if I can get that open. Sorry, I'm holding the camera with one hand and trying to do this with the other hand. That screws onto the side of it to give you a better support when holding it. Comes with some instructions, and looks like 1, 2, 3 grinders. Whatever you call these, I can't remember. Yeah, well, you get the general idea. The actual grinder itself, the actual grinding wheels themselves. All right, we're gonna set this up and go see if it cuts my chain link fence posts well. Unfortunately, I can't use these grinding pads here. Gosh, I wish I knew what you called these. I can't remember. But anyways, I've got some thinner ones. That's way too thick for me to make a thin cut on my posts. So I've got some thinner ones and I'm going to use those instead. So let's get this all set up and we'll go ahead and see how it fares. So you can see, and I guess they call these a metal grinding wheel, but you can see the difference in thickness here. See if I can get a close-up of that. This is the one I'm going to use to make a cut on a metal pipe. Hole sizes are the same, so it shouldn't be a problem. And it looks like this is fairly simple to put on. Just unscrew that. I don't think it matters which way this goes. Hopefully it doesn't. Snug it up there. There's no tools to tighten this with or anything. I've never used one of these before, believe it or not. And it doesn't come with any tools to do any tightening, so I think just centrifugal force tightens this down. And I'm going to screw in my little support handle here. Don't know what this is here. Oh, well, I stand corrected. Here is the tool, that's kind of neat, to tighten this down. So I guess you do tighten it down. Alright, there's probably a way to, yep, little button right there to lock that blade in place. And then give it a good tightening. Yeah, you're just going to hold that button in back so that locks that blade. I think that's pretty secure. Plug it in, push the safety up, and it should be ready to go. Let's see what it does. So as you saw, this cut right through my metal chain link fence posts with no problem. Probably could have did it a lot faster, but as I stated earlier, this is the first time I've ever used one of these, so I wanted to do it slow and make sure I stayed on my line there. But now that I've used it, I see that I could have went faster. This was cutting right through that metal like nothing. And hopefully someday I may have a project where I'll be able to use the thicker grinding wheels here. We'll see what happens in maybe some upcoming video. I like that tightening tool goes right inside the handle there. Nice place to store it so you don't lose track of it. It feels like a really, like I said earlier, a heavy duty piece of equipment. You know, it's nice, it's heavy, it's sturdy. It worked beautifully for my purposes. The shield here also comes off. It looks like you just pull this this back here. I'm not going to take it off, but as you can see, I'm starting to. And you can remove the shield. I've seen in some videos where guys don't use this shield. I didn't really have any purpose of taking it off for cutting those posts down, so I'm just going to leave it on there. But yeah, I picked this up at the time of making this video. I picked this up for less than 30 bucks, and I'll leave a link in the description of where you can pick up the same one. But yeah, I recommend it so far. Haven't used it a lot yet, so you know, as far as longevity, I don't know, but it worked good for what I needed it for. I just noticed too, didn't even realize that this unit has a screw hole on the other side as well, so you can switch the handle to the other side. That's kind of nice. I was kind of wondering about that when I was cutting too, that it might have been a little easier to be on the other side. Oh, awesome. Just learning something new each time I pick this tool up. But that's it. Thanks for watching, folks.